Today I'm going to speak about cloud computing. Also, I'm going to share with you our HP strategy in the coming years. Very interesting strategy around connectivity and cloud computing. There is a huge shift happening in the industry right now. What I mean by shift, it's actually a shift from speaking about technology to speaking about information. What I mean by technology is a technology like service, specs, or storage capacity, or storage requirements, application here and there. Everybody now is talking about information. How can I utilize information to actually gain a sustainable competitive advantage in the marketplace? Very important also study has been done by IDC. By 2020, there will be 25 million applications. There will be 4 billion people connected online. There will be 31 billion connected devices, iPad, touchpads, you name it. A lot of devices will be connected to the internet. 1.3 trillion sensors, tags and sensors, feeds or give us almost 50 trillion gigabytes of data created. Huge amount of data. So our strategy in HP is centered around two things: cloud computing and connectivity. So our aim is to provide seamless, secure, context-aware experience for a connected world, which through actually providing a modern mobile operating systems backed by a powerful compute resources delivered everything as service. HP ships around 100 million devices yearly. So our vision actually is to ship each and every device with WebOS embedded on it, with one operating system across multiple devices. Think about this impact on our daily life. We don't have to deal with many operating systems. We have to actually deal with one operating system. So each and every printer, mobile phone, sub $29 mobile phone will be shipped by a WebOS. This is from the connectivity part. Regarding cloud, it has been mentioned before in the presentation, in earlier presentation, but I'm going to mention this again. It's not one solution. It's a journey. Cloud computing is a journey. It includes technology aspects. It includes transformation on the way we do business, transformation in our organization, as well as it includes tailoring on our processes. So it's about people, process, and technology, and it's a journey. So if we imagine that the majority of infrastructure runs nowadays in data centers around the world are underutilized. It's actually under 20% utilization. And we heard this before from the Qatar Foundation scientists. It's about actually increasing the utilization. Then when this utilization is ahead of us, some technology called virtualization promises much higher utilization rates. So virtualization came to promise actually between 70% and 80% utilization. But again, virtualization in itself presented a huge amount of obstacles or threats. We call it virtual sprawl. Then the automation era is actually how to minimize human error, how to actually automate the processes in the IT infrastructure environment in order to introduce or enhance our productivity. And then another waves, which called the service-centric approach, is the ability of an organization to have a service catalog and consume the services internally and actually provide for some organization like telco providers, actually provide this service externally and actually get revenue for it. And after the service-centric approach, there is what we call the business-centric approach, which is a hybrid cloud environment, as we actually name it in HP, which is actually how to optimize our cost structure from actually consuming some services from public cloud, as well as providing on private cloud some services inside the organization while keeping traditional IT. So the most important thing, the step number one, is actually to understand where we are as customers in this maturity model and where we want to be in the next like 2 to 3 years. And then play steps or plan some steps from where we are to where we want to be, which is extremely fundamental. And this is the starting point of our cloud journey. So an HP hybrid cloud environment means an environment that enables our customers to actually consume services from public cloud, as well as deliver some workloads on a traditional IT, because traditional IT will stay for specific workloads when it doesn't make sense to actually virtualize these workloads. There is a great examples, the graphics, for example, or graphic design. These workloads is not very good candidate for virtualization, and it will stay in a specific hardware. As well as build our private cloud in order to enhance our agility inside the organization and have chargeback capabilities and shift workloads between applications. The most important thing in the hybrid cloud environment is to have a seamless management experience around all of this. So basically what I want to say is it's actually transparent to the end user. Whether you are consuming these services from outside or I am, as an IT organization, deliver this service to you, it is the same experience. HP actually introduced what we call cloud system, and the only aim for cloud system is one thing. It's a turnkey solution. It's actually a combination of all our software capabilities, automation software capabilities, as well as our intellectual properties when it comes to servers, network, storage, in order to jumpstart our customers from a dedicated and virtualized environment to a cloud state environment. So these turnkey solutions is extremely important because actually it makes our life easier. It provides a quick win, drive actually credibility inside the organization to move forward. I will only emphasize on 2 points or 2 attributes of these cloud systems. It actually supports a broad ecosystem of applications, hypervisors, and operating system. It has to be open in nature in order to give me the flexibility to move workloads or to adapt different virtualization technologies if I want to do this. As well as it has an automated infrastructure to application lifecycle. I'm not only want to standardize the way I provision infrastructure like servers and storage and network, I want to also standardize the way I deploy the applications, which is a very important milestone in achieving efficiencies and reduce the cost. Also, it has an ability to scale to meet unpredictable demand. This is very important aspect of cloud computing, and the final step is an end-to-end security, which is an extremely important. So the call to action, my presentation is extremely short, but I will leave you with these thoughts. So first of all, you need to define your current state, as well as the desired state, where I want to be. Do I want to have or stop at building a private cloud and I'm not going to consume from public cloud services? Or I want to go all the way to create a hybrid cloud environment. I want to get the leverage of actually pay per use. I want to actually optimize my cost of IT. As soon as you define the current state and the desired state, you will start to consolidate and virtualize and standardize the environment. This is an extremely important point, because if you standardize the way you deploy, let's say, infrastructure, later on, let's say you are standardizing deploying infrastructure on, let's say, small virtual machine, medium virtual machine, and large virtual machine. In the future, you will have the availability and the ability to actually consume these servers or these infrastructure aspects from public cloud while optimizing your cost. So standardization is an extreme milestone to actually achieve a cloud state environment or strategy. Build your cloud strategy through deploying a turnkey solutions and choose your vendor very carefully because of one thing. You want to have a partnership with a vendor that provide an open architecture. I don't want to be close to some vendor that can lock me and lock my potential to move my workloads, which is an extremely valid point. Start to change the culture inside the organization. Cloud computing is not about technology only. It's about the people itself. It's about how we provide IT services inside the organization, how we structure our IT organization. So let me give you an example. The majority of organizations now are structured on a storage team, server team, operation team, and application team. If you have a cloud-like environment, you will have an operation team only. You don't have to have silos, because remember, all of these bits and pieces of technologies are merging right now. So it's very important to try to initiate a transformation in the skill set in the IT environment as well. Analyze the IT services, the SLAs, if you have SLAs, the cost per service, which is extremely important. Remember, cloud computing is about saving costs and optimize the cost structure of IT. If you don't know how much the services is costing you right now, most likely you are not going to get the benefits of cloud computing because you don't know basically your cost structure. So it's very important to do some analysis internally to understand the cost of services. In 6 months' time span, you have to implement, or I recommend that you implement a private cloud strategy, even if it is not less than perfect, because of one thing. We learn while we actually do things, which is very important. It will help you actually to transform the organization itself, the skills and calibers, put you in a much better position to have a hybrid cloud environment in the near future and have a sustainable competitive advantage. Think long term and start planning for the hybrid cloud environment. So my final note is cloud computing is a very important thing. Think about cloud computing like the internet. Do you imagine that we can live without internet today? No. In the near future, cloud computing will actually change the way we live our life as well. It will provide an unmatched opportunities to small and medium businesses, which is the main engine of the economy. Think about a small to medium business that do not have capital to invest in IT technology. They have the privilege now to actually deploy their application on the cloud and have an infinite resources when they grow. So it's a great stimulation to the economy as well. Thank you very much for this time today. Unfortunately, I'm going to leave, so I will leave the Q&A for the panelists because I have a flight to catch. Thank you very much for your time today.